Welcome to the Nicole Small Show, where we give you straight talk with no chaser. Here, we discuss issues from the White House to your house. And now, here's your host, Nicole Small.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, and what is this, August the 16th? So we are going to talk about the post came out wrong. The title of this show, it came out why Detroit is ready. It's supposed to be why Detroit isn't ready to defund the police. So my apologies. It was late and just a little grammatical error. I was up late. You know that Al B. Shore had me up all night, so I'm tired. All right, I'm operating on a couple of hours, but it was a great concert last night. I just want to say, I love when we see the city coming out, especially in areas that we know are targeted for gentrification, which it was apparent, because I want to know, why is it that we still have to have a fence surrounding Hart Plaza? I think sometimes we overlook the messages, the strong messages that are being sent to our community. So you fenced off Hart Plaza, an area that generations and generations of Detroiters have enjoyed for years. They don't turn the fountain back on, so you can't get the water in your house. And a lot of us are, that's a part of Hart Plaza that a lot of us go to. We take pictures. Remember how the kids used to run through the water and everything, so where's all this money going? You can't keep the water on in the house until the mayor wants to run for election. So now it's a moratorium. Soon as the election is over, he's gonna go back to shutting the water off. All right, you can't keep the water on in Hart Plaza, because it's gonna be a bunch of black folks and brown folks going down there to enjoy the area. Look, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just simply pointing out the facts, because it's the little things that they keep taking away from us, along with the big things, like your house, your business, and everything. But these are the things that they take away from us to send a message. So you just about to take the whole Hart Plaza is what you gonna do? Come on. Nothing is sacred in this doggone city. I keep telling y'all, something wrong when panhandling not sacred. The panhandlers, they all white from the suburbs. Now, how that work? How many black folks you see standing on the corner begging in the suburbs? And I'm not talking about at the intersection of 8 Mile and Woodward, because they on the Ferndale side. No, and you know what? Yeah, because that's across 8 Mile, so they on the Ferndale side. I'm saying seriously, panhandling isn't even sacred. I've never seen so many white folks begging for money with they sign in Detroit as I do now. Pay attention to these things. See, yesterday, and thank you to all of you who came out to the campaign kickoff for the general election yesterday. I truly appreciate it so much. But I want you to know, this is what I'm telling you about how we have to be more intentional about the fights that we fight. It's that they distract us with certain things. And don't get me wrong. I believe that we can approach multiple things, but we just can't approach everything at once, right? And I kind of feel like that's the direction that we're going in, which is very concerning to me. With that said, while they're distracting us, some things we're going to have to be honest about with ourselves. Listen, we don't have the capacity to win this fight right now. So let's stay focused on this other fight that we stand a greater chance of winning, and get them early. So that's what I'm saying. We haven't addressed the issue about Hart Plaza. So you're going to take Hart Plaza away from us. Now, let me tell you how I'm really out of the loop. I didn't know that they charge you to get in the Hart Plaza, because I kept saying, why everybody lined up over there? And people, when I got in there, they were telling me, I heard the people in line, like at the concession stand, they were talking about they charge to get in the Hart Plaza. I don't ever remember my daddy taking me down there. I don't remember when I was a teenager going to Hart Plaza. I don't ever remember us paying to get in the Hart Plaza. Is it just me? I really don't remember that. And they have all of this fencing. So remember how you used to be able to go and, well, we didn't have we had the space. Yes, we did. We had the space. You know where those statues are. I'm sorry. You know, I'm really not together this morning. But where they have the statues when you walk down those stairs. So I guess that part has been there for its part has been there for quite some time, because that's where you used to go catch the boat and everything. I remember that, like, you used to be able to walk there. So they have all of that fenced off. And so they redirect everyone to go to Jefferson location, not for security purposes, but so they can charge you to get into the festival. How that work out? I just want to know how that worked out. Interesting. So that was one piece of it, but it was really good to see some semblance of the old Detroit, how everybody was out there. It was so crowded, for people to, engage and to take part in the festivities. Now, that part was good. Now, y'all know, listen here. At some point, again, we're going to have to stop some of this gentrification. We are not talking about what they are going to do at Hart Plaza, and we should. What we going to do? Wait until they had the fence up there forever? I just think that we have to be more proactive. We have to apply the pressure to them, not why it's going on. When they first set up shop, you know how, and I know you know how they do us. When the first one of us, or the two, no, by the time 2 or 3 of us, or maybe the first 2, move into their neighborhood and they don't want us out there, they start organizing in, don't they? They don't wait until 25% of us have moved out there, or until we get our own section of the community of that city. They don't wait until then to start pushing back. Those folks push back early. I just want us to start doing a little bit of that. So just an observation. I really had a good time last night, but you know how I am. I'm still always looking. And that was just something that, Saturdays, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, they really kept this fence up, and you don't even have the fountain lit up or the water. And I went down there at nighttime, but I'm assuming the water wasn't on during the daytime either. They just take everything. I told you about them folks who take the stink out of, you know what? They take everything. They take everything. They gonna take everything if we don't do something. Like, we have to come together, and we have to be more intentional about how we use our time, more strategic about how we use our time. Listen, I'm not saying that these issues are not important, but what I am saying is I think we're losing a lot of battles because we're fighting too many battles. I do believe that. I could be wrong if y'all disagree, but I just feel that way, that's part of the reason that we're losing too many battles. We don't have the capacity for everything. Let's build up a stronger army, right? And then we can fight more things. And sometimes we're going to have to pivot, because they good at throwing us a curveball. Okay. And when I say they, I'm not talking about just these fictitious people. I mean, literally the system that is in place, the persons who are in place, who are waging a war on dismantling our community. That's the they that I'm speaking of. Yes, I'm speaking about the corporate interests who don't respect the communities, who they bleed dry, right? Shame on DTE. Shame on DTE. You really out of order. That you getting people from all out of the city and the state to come help you fix this electrical problem. You have money to sit up there and you got to pay those people a lot of money when they have to come from far away. We know that. All of this money, you have money to fight against Proposal P, and you don't even have your sugar honey iced tea together. Think about that. Because I haven't seen you break ground to run any underground wiring. Where is that at? What about the infrastructure? You getting city council is enabling you, city council, because all they do is approve whatever you want when you come to the table, They're not the only ones now. They've allowed you to get a monopoly, and nobody demands that you put money into the infrastructure to upgrade the electrical system in the city of Detroit. But I bet you it's upgraded in the suburbs. You know how I know? Because I've seen it. And don't get me wrong, there are some people in the suburbs, some cities who are without power, but let's just be honest. They still not paying as much as we pay in the city of Detroit. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The electrical services are more expensive in the city of Detroit. It costs us to live here. It's a reason for that. If they price you out of your house for taxes, if they price you out of your house for water, if they price you out of your house for electrical, they keep hitting you from every direction to get you out of here. That's the game plan. That's the strategy. And for some people, it's working. So one of the things I would like to see us talk about, what can we do? What do we need to address to keep more of our people in this city? Something needs to change. I know we need more people to come out and vote, but I keep telling you, y'all only want to focus on Janice Winfrey. I don't think it could just be her. We got somebody sitting over there in Palmer Woods named Jocelyn Benson who need a talking to. And that's the facts. And I know I'm going to get a call today about, oh, Nicole, that's disrespectful. How is it disrespectful for me to say that we need to talk to her, but it's not disrespectful for her to remain silent about a local election? But next year, when she run, we're going to be getting that election collection newsletter all early. It's going to be all type of advertisement about how it's an election coming up far in advance. Far in advance. And I keep telling you, they treat us the way we allow them to treat us. This is crazy. She's the Secretary of State. She needs to know about these issues and how we feel about them. And we need to be clear on what our expectations and our demands are from her in her office. Period. As long as we only focus on Janice Winfrey, we're not going to get nowhere until we get her out. Because if y'all say that y'all want her out, I'm not seeing it. Because I done already said it. I can't focus on fighting that battle, right? Like, we could go and do a recount. I didn't have this conversation, but y'all gonna have to put something on paper in court. That's just the only thing. Janice don't plan on going nowhere. I don't see the energy in her that she plan on going nowhere. And she real comfortable. Just the way it is. But y'all say y'all want her out of here. Now, everything is a joke, right? Her, Duggan, all of them. You got Reggie Reg. Did y'all see his post about how we got whooped in Proposal P? Let him run for something else. Let him run for something else. Keep it up. Let him run for something else. Disrespecting the people and they work like that. Keep it up. Let's take a caller. And then we're going to get into this whole why Detroit isn't ready to defund the police. I do have the videos from what happened. I think that was August the 2nd in Greektown when the man was knocked down. Good morning. Welcome to the Nicole Small Show.
Good morning, Nicole.
Hey, Elena. Good morning. Thank you for coming out yesterday.
It was a wonderful event. There's a couple things that I want to say real quick.
Go ahead.
The first thing is to your listeners. I understand that you missed an event the other day because you had a supporter talk to you so long and wouldn't let you get in your car. And so you missed it when we're on a very tight margin like this.
Yes.
And I just would like to say to your supporters and to everybody that's around, even if you don't always have staff or volunteers surrounding you, everybody needs to watch you and step in and say, Nicole's got to go, and get you in your car and off so that won't happen again. I'm just calling this out to all of us to just take responsibility for our candidates, that they are able to break loose from people that want to bend their ear. You already have their vote. You need to let them go. And I'm asking for people, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't need to, but it doesn't matter who it is. Sometimes people just want to monopolize your time, and you got to have somebody walk up and say, okay, it's time to go. And I'm just asking supporters to all just take that role on, even if it's a 5-minute volunteer thing that you do that day.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you for that.
The second thing I want to say is that down here at Rosa Parks, when you walk down Rosa Parks to the river, they have removed the benches. for people to sit on, and that's where the fishermen always go. People go there for leisure.
Yeah, somebody told me
Riverfront
that.
Conservancy. It is the Riverfront Conservancy that is gentrifying the riverfront and taking our money and diverting it. They're the ones that we need to target. The city council are toothless whales. We need to target the ones that actually have our money. Riverfront Conservancy and also the ones at DDA, the Downtown Development Authority, that are taking our library money. These are the ones that we're really going to have to target.
Let me ask you a question.
People get back with me.
I do have a question about that, and then I'll let you continue. So that was my point about this whole Joe Louis Greenway. So why can't the Riverfront Conservancy, and why do we have to invest $50 million out of our money that came from Biden?
Because we let them. Nobody goes and confronts them where they are. No one even knows who they are. They don't live here. They have to account to no one. It happens because we let them. Same as Hart Plaza. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of secretive things going on in Hart Plaza. But I went to the city council vote shortly before quarantine and watched them vote $800,000 to give a playground out there. And everybody was saying, why can't that money go to restore Hart Plaza? The city council all voted unanimously on giving that money for that little playground.
You know why? You know what they're going to do? Listen, they are going to go and say, when they give away Hart Plaza and privatize it, they're going to say, well, we didn't have the money to upgrade the infrastructure. It hadn't, no one had invested in it. It's not no one who hadn't invested in it. It's them who don't invest in it, right? We're having this conversation right now, today, August 16th, 2021. Mark my words. This is what they tell us for everything. Isn't that what they told us for the state fairgrounds? That's why I went to Ross Perot's company in Texas. Isn't that why the Broadhead Armory went to the parade company? It's been sitting there for 15 years with the hole in the roof. But you don't care nothing about these black folks over here with a hole in the roof.
Yep. Two things I want to say is please come down to DTE at 11 o'clock tomorrow for the press conference against DTE to see what they're doing. 11 a.m. at DTE headquarters. That's the Anthony Adams campaign calling for that. The second thing I want to say.
No, tell them where DTE is, okay? Because the folks who still without power need to come too.
Yeah, it's right by MGM Casino. If you go down Michigan Avenue, it's right there. You can't miss it. We'll be out there.
Okay.
At 11 a.m. tomorrow, rain or shine. So please bring your umbrella. The other thing I want to ask is at 1:30, if you're able and if you're at home, get on the library commission Zoom call at 1:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
It's third Tuesdays. So there's two homework assignments for tomorrow. One is DTE, if you can come out there in person, and the other one is going to be at the library online. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Elena. I appreciate that. Thank you. Where is this phone ringing now? Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. in front of DTE. Now we've been dragging them about this lack of power, right? This poor quality of service. So now you have an opportunity. Anthony Adams is leading it. We need to address the city. They need to be sued for keep letting them be in place, number one. But now here's an opportunity. All you have to do is show up and stand in solidarity. That's at 11 o'clock tomorrow in front of the DTE building. Let's make sure that we're there. And at 1:30, Elena, if you're still listening, please post the link to the library commission meeting at 1:30. Thank you. Good morning. Let's take another caller. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Small. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's it going?
Not good here. Nothing's going here. Good here.
Mm-hmm.
With these crooked people around here. But to feed off of what you said about Hart Plaza with the fence.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important question you asked was, what are these black people here going to do?
Mm-hmm.
These people here going to do? Because they're about to take your Hart Plaza. And think about it. Before they do all of this stuff, they always put a fence around it.
Mm-hmm.
They do to the schools. They put a fence around it. Right?
Yep.
What did they do to Belle Isle? They put a fence around it, and they came up with that same excuse. Oh, we didn't have funds. Oh, it was all nasty out there. They left, which was a bunch of BS.
Yes.
So what they do is they fence it off for, just to test you black soft people to see what y'all gonna do, which is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They fence it off. Even the yards, the houses, the buildings, they hoard them, fence them off. But I just want to know, as far as what you said, what are the people going to do?
That's right.
What are they determined to do? Because they're going to take it. They're going to privatize it, like you said. You're not going to see no more black people. I've been spreading the word. If that white boy doesn't get back up in here, black people will be distinct here in the city of Detroit. Won't be no more black people here.
You know what killed me? You know what killed me? You know what killed me is how black folks can be so strong. And you know what I mean? I'm from Detroit. I'm not going, oh no, I'm not buying that. They always so tough until it come time for a real. You fighting for your life. You're fighting for your life. It's not about a fence. It's about your life. That's what this is. That's what the fence is about. It's about taking away your quality of life, people. This is what DT is about. How dare they go and put money into opposing Proposal P, which was going to increase your quality of life, and turn around. They cannot get it together about the electrical services. They just cannot. Now, and they going to stand here and do that. It's about your quality of life. This is crazy.
I don't think they care about their quality of life, because I heard a lot. So many black people set up and say, "Oh, I'm not going to vote for the I'm not going to vote." I just said, like, you might as well kill yourself now.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well kill yourself now, because that's what they're about to do to y'all.
It is. It is. You know what? You bring up a great point, and that's sad. It's almost like suicide to your quality of life is what it is. You're right. Because you know what? We have an opportunity to do, but all you had to do was check a doggone box on the ballot and check a box that represents your best interest. And you couldn't do that. The majority of the ones who did check the box couldn't get that right. And then the rest of them couldn't even check a box. Somebody's telling you to check a box so you can have freedom. And you gonna say the hell with freedom. That's what's happening.
Yeah, and the hell with freedom. So from that aspect, that's why I go back to say, a lot of you black, soft, dumb people out here, black people, I don't have no sympathy, no pity, no empathy, no nothing, because it's coming for y'all. It's coming.
You right.
So when it comes, don't jump up then. Please don't jump up and say what's going on. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. All right.
Because it's right here in front of their face, so they should see what's going on.
I agree. I agree with you.
On that note, you have a good day.
You too. You too. And too bad we couldn't have thought about this. Maybe we could do this for the you know what? I'm not even gonna say it on here. I got an idea that we should do next week for another festival. So we gonna have to have a meeting this week. I have an idea for that. Yep, I sure do. We gonna meet these folks right where they at. That's exactly what we about to do. We gonna meet them right where they at. We don't want to hear no stuff about November the 2nd. We don't want them to talk about what they didn't hear, because these folks who filling up these spaces and these who in line for the bridge card, who coming out to Ribs and Soul Fest, you know what the majority have in common? They didn't come out to vote. They didn't come out to vote. And the ones who did, probably a good chance that they didn't vote in their own best interest. So you know what? We about to meet them where they at. We about to have to organize real quick around it. So we're going to talk about that. Let's get into today's topic. Why Detroit isn't ready to defund the police. Before I show you these videos, I want to know, like, have you had the same observation, Detroit? I'm looking at in order for defunding the police to work. So I watched that show called The Chi. And so for those of you, remember when they defunded the police in the city and everybody came together in Chicago and they were actually taking care of their own community. You know what? First thing I always think, we can't even get more than 50 people max to come out and to oppose Duggan being made a saint of Black Bottom. And so we come out there and we oppose that. And the same people who were standing there with that up there standing next to Duggan for the marquee. You know, I got a problem with that. If we get them on our side for a press conference, they turn right back around for the same issue. You go stand with Duggan and give him some press coverage. You with him in a photo op for him to get credit for Black Bottom. You was just standing with us talking about he shouldn't be made a saint and how sacred it is, but you gonna stand with him. And that's what I'm telling you. This is our problem. You do this, and this is why we lose. This is why he is unbothered when we come out and we say no more. Because he know it's always going to be that one who going to go and stand with him. How that happen? How you come and speak at the press conference about Duggan not being made a saint and how disrespectful it is to the history and the people who were there from Black Bottom. And then you stand with him at a press conference for a marquee for Black Bottom. Make that make sense to me. So when I'm talking about defunding the police, this whole idea of the community policing the community, how are we going to do that? We already don't have enough police officers. The response time is slow right now anyway, right? It just is. I just want y'all to think about something. Just to get 50 people out, you know, that's what we considered a really great turnout. But we're going to police this entire city. How long that's going to last? How long they going to stay in the struggle? That's how that's going to work when you got somebody telling you that 70% of the voters voted for Mike Duggan, and we didn't have a flood. He didn't took federal dollars that would have helped people stay in their homes. You done lost some of your good neighbors, right? Because they still in the houses. They still in people's businesses. Hello. They still in your opportunity because they don't even want you to have an opportunity to live a good quality of life by making sure you have adequate access to economic resources. Now, these are the facts, not just my opinion. This is what has happened. This is our lived experience. And so now we're going to police our own neighborhoods. I personally don't believe that we're ready for that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because we can't even get people to coalesce around the issues that literally would dismantle our community. And so then we talk about leadership. The reason why that effort on a TV show, on a whatever, I don't know what they call it, but on that series, that's what they call it, The Chi worked, is because you had a mayor that wanted it to work for his own, you know how he is. But then you also had strong community leadership that used their relationships and their influence over the community to get the community to support this effort and to participate. Everybody had their own role, right? That's why it worked on TV. But we talking about doing that in Detroit right now. I'm saying right now, I don't think it's going to work. I just don't. I don't think they have enough people. And what you going to do? Have a majority of white people who protest and stuff against it? That's not going to work either. It has to be the people who actually live here, not people who just got here. And people who are rooted here. It's nothing wrong with those who come out and they protest for Black Lives Matter. It's nothing wrong with those who are just either new to Detroit or still don't live in Detroit when they want to say, no, Detroit deserves better. That's not my point, but I want to be honest with you. Defunding the police cannot work when it's a majority white-led effort and this is a majority Black city. It just can't. You have to have strong Black participation. And you want me to tell you what else I saw when they showed this whole, this whole ideology of defunding the police on that show, The Chi? You had a whole lot of Black brothers out there in a community. The sisters were strong too. We did what we always do, keep things in order. But I'm talking about that real work that other work. Let me say that because it's all real work. Lord, please let me say that. It's all real because we know, sisters, that we shown up carry the burden. But that's another reason why I work. There was a lot of men out there, right? It's something to be said when men talk to men and address an issue and check them. But you know, here in the city, we always want women to do it. You know, that's the problem. Like, why haven't these black men checked Reggie Reg? Think about that. You can't check Reggie Reg when you know that he is supporting and out here talking cash, trash, garbage. You can't even check a Reggie Reg. I didn't even ask you to go to anybody greater. You can't check Reggie Reg, black men, about his disrespect to black women. You can't check Reggie Reg, black men, about how disrespectful he was to stand on that other side. He hadn't even read the proposal, couldn't even give you a complete sentence or a cogent argument about why not to support it. So now he want to post on Facebook and brag. He wasn't, listen, anyway, but I want y'all to think about that. So when y'all come to me about this defunding the police, I want you to be realistic about our current circumstances. We can't do that, but we're going to police our neighborhood. Do we have the resources and the capacity to make that work? You going to get rid of the police department when we short-staffed anyway. And I get it because we're about to play this video why you feel the way that you do. But we can't even check the little things. And don't come telling me Reggie Reg is a villain. It's the principle is what I'm telling you. When Reggie Regis of Detroit feel comfortable to get out here and disrespect black women, to get out here and to do the things that he do publicly. And yes, I'm saying it. When you had these black men always talking about, oh, we can't beat Duggan. He is not a god. He is not unbeatable. And they concede to that. What do we look like? What do you think you make us women look like? That we love you, support you, we with you. And this is what's coming out of your mouth? Duggan can't be beat? How strong are you? How strong are you? You got a black man running for mayor, and you know, and don't nobody come on here telling me not to talk about Duggan. I talk about what I want to talk about. So I'm just gonna let you know if you don't want to hear it, log off, because I'm about to go there.
Hold on, everybody. Nicole will be right back, okay? She's just having a technical difficulty, but she'll be back in about a minute. Your camera isn't on, Nicole.
I see it. Okay, well, why is it? Why my camera not on?
I do not know.
It says
And there you are. You are still on the air.
all right. Wasn't that funny? Because I said I'm about to go there and I cut the whole doggone thing off. Why can't I see these comments? Okay, now I can see them. Okay, I'm back. So you have a black man who was more than qualified to run this doggone city, to be mayor. And we got black folks out here talking about how Duggan can't be beat, talking about how you don't see him. You don't see him running for mayor when a lot of us have seen him all across this city. That's the problem. How many times you seen Mike Duggan? Mike Duggan didn't even do a commercial to tell you it was an election. But he did a lot of commercials to tell you not to vote for Proposal P. I want you to think about how our mindset keeps us oppressed. It's not about, oh, somebody else having more money. You have another option here. You won't even take an option to more freedom. You talk about DTE, right? You talk about DTE. You got the incumbent right now who got a ton of money from DTE donated to her. And you got people still support her. What you want? You say you supported Proposal P, and you got folks who use you to make you think they were supporting Proposal P. But when Duggan said, they flipped on you. Just like that as a candidate. Remember, you know who else did that? Donald Trump. Remember how Donald Trump flipped on his people? No, more importantly, you remember how Donald Trump showed you who he was as a candidate? Remember that? So what do y'all want? What do you want? How do you have conversations with people and don't really expose what's going on at the mayoral and the legislative level, at the city council level? That's your responsibility. It's not just mine because I'm running. You know, I was doing that before. I always had something to say. But it's your job too. And when do we get to the point we always worried about how nice somebody say something? I've never seen this type of submission in my life. Well, you know, you angry. Why you not angry is what I want to know. Black men, why aren't you angry the way they treating black women and children? Why you not angry? Why is that okay for you? You always worried about somebody saying something so nice. That's what you always worried about. How that happen? And black women, well, I like Duggan. I'm gonna support him. I like Duggan. You can like Duggan all you want. I'm not here to tell you not to. Now, if you support Duggan and you well informed, that's one thing. But these folks who are down here talking about how great of a job he did, now, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And maybe Anthony not your cup of tea. But it's these other ones. Y'all really kill me. Right? It's these other ones who want to tell me about these folks on city council. And you need to start paying attention to who really running in this race. And you need to start paying attention to these folks out here trying to distract you. And that's what I'm telling you. To get you to vote for somebody who they know is only going to keep the same regime going over and over and over again. You know, see, they don't want people like us who won't change in office. They want enablers who enable the bull crap to sacrifice you. That's what they want. So if you don't want it, we're going to do something about it. So again, when we talk about defunding the police, we can't even get the majority of people to actually come out and be effective. And even, I don't mean just physically come out. It's work that can be done from your house. But we need you to do it. That's what we need you to do it. How are we going to police our own community when they killing us at the ballot box? When they killing us, when we paying them to kill us, actually. Yeah. We paying people to kill us. Because see, when you cut off our lifeline, that's death to a community. How that work out? They taking the votes, they doing what they want to do with them, right? When money comes to the table, they let you know the money there. This is the part I love. They let you know the money there, and they tell you you're not going to get it. They tell you you're going to get it the same time that they giving it to somebody else. That's what they do. Right in front of your face. You know what this lady said to me the other day? She was a senior. She said, baby, you got that right. She said, because they come right up in here. She's saying they lie to us in our faces. And if you could have just seen the disdain and the disgust on this lady's face when she said it. You know, the people who've been here. You know, the people who were there during a Comey Young. It has to be something to be said to have been in Detroit to be, and I mean, I was here too, but I wasn't able, to vote for him by the time, he left office. And so it has to be something to have been a part of that whole regime where, black credibility, no, black economic wealth and generational wealth was at the core of what they did. That was the platform. It's not that they didn't deal with white folks. The hell, Coleman even had an Asian or two in there. That's not it. But the principles were there to make sure that we had the highest rate of ownership, to make sure that we were in great paying jobs, to make sure that you shown a level of leadership that we were appointees and that we can operate in different capacities and that we could take care of each other. That's what that was about. And you got folks who running city council, for mayor, hell, even board of police commissioners who don't even care about you, but we gonna defund the police? That's what we need to defund. These sellouts is what we need to do. Now, I'd be all over that first. Why don't we defund the sellouts? Who they keep using to prop their faces up to poison our community. Defund that. Defund the pimps. Defund the pimps first, then maybe you could defund the police if that's what you want to do. Because I personally believe in police reform. We need to take those dollars and we need to be more intentional about how they're being applied in the public safety department. See, they got you thinking that they don't have enough money. That's not true. They have the money. We don't have the leadership is what it is. We don't have the leadership. Let's take a look at the videos that we have. We could go right in order. We're going to show you this video, and I want you to see the difference between the two news sources that reported on this incident that happened on August the 2nd, I believe it was. Go ahead and play the first video.
The investigation stems from an incident early yesterday morning in Greektown. The first video is shocking, showing a Detroit police officer punching a man in the face and the man falling to the pavement, hitting his head.
Now, new video shows what happened just minutes before. You'll meet the man who shot it all on his cell phone. However, this isn't the first time in recent months violence has erupted in Greektown. Officers have dealt with shootings, stabbings, and fights.
But when it comes to what's going on in Greektown and yesterday's incident, the interim police chief says it all looks bad and that he's looking into it.
7 Action News reporter Jim Kirstner is live in Detroit to break this all down for us. Jim?
Alan and Carolyn, this happened at 2:30 yesterday morning as the nightclub was closing and people moved out onto the street. Few people and police then clashed just minutes later. The first video shows a big group of police moving in on one guy in an orange mask. There's pushing, then it escalates. More police move in. You can see some officers punching and then using their knees. In the next video, pay attention to the man in the blue and orange Detroit Tigers shirt trying to intervene and a man in a red shirt pulling him back. Then the third video, That man is pushed by one officer. He falls to the ground, gets up, and is punched by a second officer. He falls down hard.
I did not see the escalation there. I did not see our training there.
The man who hits the ground is raised up by an officer. The police walk away. The man is helped away by other civilians. He was not arrested. That's key in this ongoing investigation. The procedures are, if the man had assaulted police in any way, he would be arrested.
I see what you see. I see that it appears to be an unprovoked attack or unprovoked use of force, not an attack, an unprovoked use of force.
The chief says the investigation will look at body cam videos, surveillance videos. The man who shot the cell phone videos.
Hey, you ain't got to do my mans like that, yo. I ain't got to do that, dog.
It's one of a few recent videos from a violent night in Greektown that's placed.
So it was already, and I know that had to be more than 10 officers who were on top of the first man that they were kicking, and they were all, it was like, you know how they tackle somebody at a football field? That's what it looks like. So like a mob gang mentality, and all of them jump on top of the one man is what it looks like. And then you have another man who's probably protesting against that. And so how is this tolerated, right? This is why I want you to know, I understand why you want to defund the police. I understand that. But the problem for me is a couple of things. This attitude around police officers thinking that they could come in here and just treat people any kind of way when you're supposed to protect and serve. And it's not all of them. See, I don't feel like that. I don't believe all of them are a part of this. But then we have the other part where people are like, no, these officers need to speak up. In my opinion, I don't think the system really allows for them to have the protections that they need in the streets for them to speak up is a part of the problem. So this is where I get back to, like, are we going to address the issues in the system, or are we just going to say the hell with the whole team when we don't have the capacity to fill the gaps? So you go out here and a group of y'all just jump on top of one man. First of all, when it was already 2 officers against one person, why did the rest of the officers even have to go in that direction? I'm talking about, see how they showed you what happened in the beginning before they got to the part of the guy getting punched in the face? Why did that part happen? When it was a whole mob of officers on top of, why did the other officers even go over there instead of staying in the middle of the street to say, oh, those 2 officers have that under control? How did that happen? And then because somebody else is upset, you go on, you just punch him in the face. And this is the part that I love. You gonna tell me that this man was approaching officers, but the officers were coming towards him, and then the brother go up and sock the black man in the face and knocked him out. Then when he get up, you get him, and then you held him up on your knees, right? Because he's standing behind him and the man leaning up on his knee. Then you just walk with, let him fall back again like the fan for himself. You mean to tell me out of all of those officers, not one of them saw fit to go address this man who was on the ground, had been knocked down backwards, hitting his head on the cement? And I don't know what the conversation was before. I really don't care. But there's a good point about how he wasn't arrested. Let's play the next clip where you have Chief James White talking about how the man wasn't arrested and how he's suspended. Let's play the next video.
I tried to make sure that I was able to capture everything so that it could be seen. Even if that meant I was going to be caught, trampled down or whatever, like, I just wanted to make sure the camera stayed on the situation of bad cops being bad cops.
Very disturbing. It's severe force, and more than likely it's not necessary. We played the video for one of the members of the Board of Police Commissioners. They vote on what happens administratively with the police. His biggest concern? What happened after the punch. The man was struck and there was no rendering of aid thereafter. He could have had severely head injury behind hitting that pavement and that cement. The chief says the officers will be given due process, but once this investigation is over, a report will go to the Wayne County prosecutor. If this is unprovoked police brutality, it could turn criminal for the police.
Jim, it could be criminal charges.
It could be. It could be. It could be criminal charges. Well, at least they did acknowledge something was wrong. But play the next video so we could see how the man was suspended.
That was your last video.
Okay, go. Okay, it must have been on the third one where we cut it off. James White. Okay, I'll tell them what happened. So you had Chief White saying that, you know, the man has been suspended, but with pay. That's what we paying for. He approached it when the guy got knocked down, when he pushed him the first time. The brother, all he did was get back up, and you could see him holding his hand like, whoa, 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 whoa. So then the black officer went up to him and just like knocked him dead in his face. Did you see how that brother was built? That officer? You know what? I'm going to tell you something. It's a pattern here. You remember that man, that officer who had beat that lady up in the when she was in the psych ward? Because I guess she had spit on him. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that's some nasty stuff to be spitting on somebody. But she was in a psych ward. And he beat her up. Did you see how he was all built? It's something about them officers. Why you don't ever see them other officers who not as much in shape out here doing that? It's always the one who look like they on steroids or something. They need to do some type of testing. I'm just telling you. And them white boys be big and thick too now. It ain't just the brothers. But them two brothers, this one and that last one, who beat up the woman, did you see how they was built? And them other them white boys who was with them white officers, let me tell you something. They was looking mighty strong too. And you see how they be tossing people around and everything. What the hell going on with you? You just can't be out here just busting people all in the face and everything, and all they doing is running their mouth. I ain't never seen nothing like this. What was that people they used to call the Duggan? That Coleman got rid of, because we know Duggan didn't. Duggan was all for it. The stress team. That's what it was, stress. Stress. They act like they bringing that back. You just bust that man right in the head. How that work? That's sad. Let's take a caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Nicole. I'm listening.
Hey, Kenny.
How you doing?
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you see
I got you.
Okay, you see the video?
Yeah, I've seen the video. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's what happens when you don't have officers that live in the city that don't give a damn about the people in the city. And here you got a black guy trying to show off for the white guy. You know what I'm saying? He had to come in and throw the punch at the guy. And like you said, he had no reason to sock the guy like that. The guy just stood back up, and he goes right up there like he Hercules. Now, the guy would have ducked and socked him and knocked him out. They would have brought charges on for defending himself and things. That's what should have happened. The guy should have been one of them guys that know how to duck and sock him and break his jaw. You know what I'm saying? Now, we was down at the what they call that bar you ride, the bike bar.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Me and my sister and all us were down there waiting for it to pull up where we can get on.
Uh-huh.
Now they had the Tiger game going, and guys was black guys. It maybe been about 6 of them, big guys on the corner selling their tickets and asking for people that got leftover tickets So there's one black officer, a short guy, maybe about 9. One of the men pulled up and they were talking to him, and he come over there and said, "Move that car." "Would you?" "Okay." Move the car so the traffic keep going. But he went to screaming. So the guys, their friends on the corner, they were like, "Hey man, you ain't got to do that." He talking about, "Man, they approach these guys. These ain't no kids. These guys had to be in their 40s, something, 30s, and 40. He ran up there talking about, "You shut the fuck up." I said, "You shut the fuck up." He get on his radio because all the cops was down there calling for backup because his little ass was scared to approach him. They said, "Man, nobody worry about you." So the sergeant, the black sergeant, did come over there and send him away and told him to go on another corner because he was wrong for telling him to shut the fuck up. How you gonna talk to a grown person like that? Shut the fuck up because they say, "Man, why are you hollering at them?" See,
wait a minute.
These guys are twisted.
Wait, but what?
Twisted, Nicole.
What did the guy say back to him, Kenny?
They say, "You shut the fuck up, man. Nobody scared of you." And he got on his radio ear. When he seen they stood up, he seen them guys wasn't standing up. These look like project guys. Man, you shut the... Man, this guy called on the radio, and then here come 2 officers and a black sergeant came over there and diffused it and told the guy, "Man, go over there, man. Let me do this."
Nah, he was right.
And calmed it down. He calmed it down, and they said, "Man, he talked to us like we somebody. He ain't gonna tell us say anything. Tell us to step the fuck up and step back and all that." Man, this guy told me, "You shut the fuck up." I'm looking. I'm like, yeah. Because he was wrong. Everybody told me, "He's wrong for hollering, telling them grown man to shut the." Man, I was sitting up there rolling, me and my sister, and we were rolling. I was like, man, but my man diffused and thing. But what I'm saying is, that's what you.
We lost you, Kenny. Okay.
You want to pass proposal P, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then and all the other things, and then you got Willie Bell now ain't gonna do it.
Oh, sure ain't.
He seemed like you said when the lady got beat like she got beat worse than a slave.
Yes.
In that hospital, mental ward. That black guy. He beat her worse than a slave.
Yes.
And they sitting up there, all they want to do is reward these folks and then suspend this guy with pay. Suspending with pay, that's still our tax dollars paying him.
And he don't want to come to work no way. He don't want to come to work no way.
Right.
Man, that's probably why they act a fool. Because he probably want to go on vacation. All you got to do is go assault a black person in Detroit, then they gonna suspend you without pay. They probably want to go on vacation. That way they don't have to use their vacation time.
That's why we need new leadership in the city of Detroit. We need a new mayor and these folks, and we need new city council like yourself. And these folks don't understand who is out there fighting. We don't need Coleman Young on there who's been traded on us and went with Duggan. All the rest of them that went with Duggan and think they on Duggan's campaign. We don't need them. They quit voting for a name and think that's the problem. That ain't the Coleman we used to have. Quit thinking because the Coleman Young got the name Coleman Young. I'm Clark Kent. Did you think I'm Superman?
You Clark Kent. You Clark Kent. That's right, Kenny. You gonna come save everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna come save everybody. That dog Coleman Young and switched on us. This clown then turned around and ran against this man, and then turned around and then joined cheese after this man and put him down and all that. Man, y'all, we got it twisted as black folk. Why don't we just open the door back up and say it's slavery in Detroit? Because these Negroes, that's what they acting like. Yeah, sir, boss. Okay, anytime, boss, you sitting up here want to put a man back in office. They ain't done a darn thing for the city of Detroit and the community.
Yeah.
Community. All this money that they got. When and y'all won't get off y'all butts and vote. Let me see how many people get off their butts and vote in November. If they don't get off their butts and vote in November, I'm through with it.
Yeah.
I'm through with
yeah.
it. I'm not fighting for them no more because you get tired I'm talking about young, middle age, and old.
Yeah, it's a generational curse. That's right. It's a generational curse. Thank you, Kenny.
It's sad that they do that. You know what I'm saying? You out there fighting like hell. Then the black folks, our black people in the community, these activists want to get on Facebook and shout you down because of some stuff they claim and not the stuff they know and things, and then won't come to you like an adult but want to listen to somebody. Don't keep feeding me no garbage and then you can't help me. You don't give me nothing. You just bringing problems to me. That's all you're doing. We need Nicole Small, and I'm saying it out loud. We need Anthony Adams, and we need new city council, you know, to get in there and fight. We don't need Coleman and them getting up in there because we already know which direction they're going. And people wake up. Thank you for taking.
Thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you. So I think it's a couple of things in there. I'm sorry, y'all, for laughing. I don't think that it's funny for the police officers to verbally or physically assault anybody. But the thing is that when he said that the guy said, you shut the F up. Number one, let me tell you something. That must be a line, a statement that they teach you in the police department, because every time it's something, you always hearing police officers say, get the F on the ground, shut the F up. Shut the F up. Get the F on the ground. I don't know. Do like they teach that in training? Because that's their favorite line. Okay, those two lines are their favorite. You always hear that from these police officers, and I think that it's sad. But my point is that it's some Detroiters who sick of that and they not buying it. You know how they think everybody gonna go for it. And so when them brothers, I knew Kenny, I didn't know about the incident before Kenny called in. But when he said it was a bunch of brothers on the corner, I knew he was about to say that they said something back. And so, you know, and I'm glad that the sergeant or whoever did come over to de-escalate that. See, that's what the police are supposed to do. You supposed to check your own on the force to de-escalate a situation. You know, and don't get me wrong. I know police officers, firemen too. You see a whole lot on this job. You know, you see babies who done been raped. You see babies who've been murdered. Women, you see some horrific stuff, okay? Even as a fireman, you know, I've heard stories where after the smoke then settled, you could see where a baby or a person was trying to crawl out of the fire, you know, and they be frozen in that position. And you know, so for police officers, I know they see some horrific stuff. And I know that there's some PTSD, but I also believe, on the other hand, there's a lack of training. You have some people coming on the force with some prejudices that they already had in place. So if you know that you think a certain way about the Black or brown community in a negative light, why do you go and take this job when you know 90% of the issues are going to be you addressing them? Because they hardly ever address the white folks who out there pissing and cussing all up and down the street, acting a doggone fool after they done went to a game, whether it's the Lions or the Tigers. You know, I rarely see them swinging them around like they a doggone yo-yo. It's always one of us. So why do you come here and work? Because you know it's tolerated. And so then you could get time off for horrible behavior. You get paid for it. So I want to see if some charges gonna come and play but then here's gonna be the next thing. You play some charges on that black brother who are officer. We just want you to keep the same energy on down the line is what we telling you. How that's gonna work out. Let's see if they got it in them. Let's take the next caller. Good morning. Welcome to the Nicole Small Show.
Good morning, Nicole.
Hey, Brenda. Thank you for coming yesterday.
Oh, no. I was going to try to make it this morning.
Okay.
This is my wheelhouse. You know that they're interviewing for the new police chief.
Yeah. I think we have 5 finalists. Don't we have like 5 candidates they're looking at right now?
3. Robert Dunlap, he's the head of jails out of West
And he went against Proposal P too. Go ahead.
You say he voted for Proposal P?
Oh, he was he publicly stated that he wasn't gonna support Proposal P, talking about the funding and other stuff. You could tell he hadn't read it, but I don't know Robert personally, but I think he looked good on paper. Go ahead.
And then you have
Yep.
And then you have a guy out of Washtenaw County.
Oh, hell.
And so this is what I want to say.
Yeah, wait a minute. Is he black? Hold on. The guy from Washtenaw, he black?
Yeah, he's black.
Hmm.
All three are black.
Hmm.
Now, let's talk about that. Because really, the person they wanted to put in place was Deputy Chief LaValle. That's the one who dragged Willie Burton out of the meeting.
Oh.
That's the one that used to have on the news from the DPD all the time.
Yeah.
That was that was positioned to take James Craig's place. He was the one moved up. But however, we got together and we fought back against that. Every meeting, I was like, we're not getting no white boy in here. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And then you see the few people who did show up with class and stuff. They be scared. At first, they was like, well, don't say white boy. I'll say white boy when I get
They
back.
sure did. I remember that. They sure did.
And so then, let's jump over to the census. You know now they trying to say that the census is low and the black community is the one who lost the most in the census. And this is the thing. They didn't really try to get people to sign up for the census. But these women got all these guys living up in their houses and they did not declare them, right? So then you turn around. Now what the cops are going to do is start killing folks. Right now, all you hear is interim chief saying, oh, we show restraint. We didn't do anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, how you going to kill somebody who don't exist?
That's true.
And so we're setting ourselves up. You got girls working on a police car and stuff. Now, I don't whoop some butt.
I would, yeah.
This stuff that they are allowing is just a setup. It's just a setup for them to turn around and have stress in here again, because this city, everything that they're saying is right for the gentrification.
Yes.
And then you got people who say they don't even live here, don't exist, they don't vote, they don't sign up for the census, blah, 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 but they show up for a fake bridge card. If you don't vote, how you showing up for a bridge card? They got
No, this is my favorite. Oh, I don't get involved in politics. What you talking about? But you take that doggone check and you take them deposits every month. That's because of politics. The government is politics.
Everything is politics. The color of your shirt is politics.
That's right. It's political.
See, they tell us don't talk about religion, taxes, and politics. But the white people, that's all they talk about. They talk about, well, I ain't paying them taxes. I'm going to get out of paying them taxes.
Don't they?
They know how much you make. They want to know how much you make. So they know how much they should be making.
That's right.
We run around here, we get next to minimum wage, and we won't tell nobody that we being undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we don't talk about politics. Let me tell you something. When people out there got petitions in the suburbs right across their house, the white folks really don't even ask what it is. They just sign away.
Yeah, don't they?
Now the people on this side of 8 Mile trying to make some money, and then you cuss them out. We're doing the only way that an ordinary citizen can get some legislation placed on the ballot is to go through a petition. That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all cuss them out, giving them a hard time.
We make things harder on ourselves.
Go ahead.
No, we make things harder on ourselves. Like that's been a long-standing issue, in our community. But it's because of the lack of leadership, right? So you know what it is? It's like everybody's home. No, it's like everybody's home with no supervision, and so there's no order, right? There's no order in the community is really our biggest problem. That's why our people are so desperate to Some of them want it. They know it, right? It's just like when you a kid. I can't wait to get grown. Then when you get grown, you be like, hold on. You only want to be grown so you can do childlike things, number one. But when you get grown and you have adult responsibilities, you like, this ain't all it's cracked up to be. So that's how I feel about what's going on in our community. Go ahead.
Let me say one more thing before I go. We sitting on $1 billion. I want y'all to turn around and tell everybody this. We're sitting on $1 billion, but we're being treated like we don't have any money. And I'm gonna give you an analogy. You remember when your mom and daddy would say, "We getting you some stickers from Kmart," and say, "But y'all rich. We got a Cadillac out front." Well, we rich, got a Cadillac out front. Your daddy said, "No, I'm rich."
Right.
You broke.
That's right.
And unless you do something, you get no shoes from Kmart.
That's right.
That's how we being treated out here. This is our money, though. It's not Duggan's money. It's not the administration's money. This is our money. And there's no way we going through a bankruptcy. I don't care who says it.
Yeah.
We can't go through a bankruptcy. We got this city as a swamp. It's a swamp.
Yes.
And you go up and down these streets and you see these crowds. When I was in a woman's house, she had a man in the house. They basement still flooding from the first storm.
Yeah, from the first storm. Yeah, they still have some standing water.
And then the storage backed up on them. So they got all kinds of stuff in the basement. And I said to her, "Why your guy get this stuff out of here?" "Well, he needs some help." Huh? And he gets to lay up in here? But this is how we have it. This is how we have it. Why isn't Duggan doing the same thing that he did for COVID, for our people and their living situation? In fact, this flooding is a worse threat than the COVID.
Yes, it is.
Also, let me say this. Duggan spent $500 million on COVID. Yet, less than 40% of Detroiters got the vaccine. So who did he spend that money on?
The people in the suburbs.
Not Detroiters.
The people in the suburbs.
With the worst threat in 100 years as far as health, people still don't know where the health department is.
Well, this is my thing. He spent almost $500 million on COVID for mostly suburbanites, right? But then you turn around and you get money to help supplement the loss of revenue due to COVID. And if you would have managed your money better and made sure that you wasn't going to spend all of that money on COVID to help service the people in the suburbs and to say, look, it is what it is. If you live in Detroit, either you going to come get it or you not, but you don't go get that money and you help the majority of people in the suburbs unless you know that those are going to be the people to support you for mayor and they don't even live here, right? Like everything that he does, he's very methodical. He's intentional about how he abuses his power. Like, look, y'all know I don't agree with Duggan, but I never said he wasn't calculated and I never said he was stupid. Now, I never said that, but he's very methodical if you look at the way that he operates. And so what I'm saying is everything he does is about getting reelected. He's a true politician. He is. He's a true politician. I know that I'm not. He's a true politician. And so you took all of that money and you spent it so people who don't even live here think that you're great. You know what that tells me? It tells me that I'm right, because I've been saying, Detroit, we talk all of that stuff, but we have really become the path to least resistance. We allow these people who don't live here to argue us down about wanting a better quality of life. Like, we allow that.
They're taking your life to get it.
But wait a minute. But then you're gonna tell me that I shouldn't demand that all of our people have a right to clean, safe and affordable water. But somebody in Royal Oak, they can fight so hard they can send a man to the hospital about zoning. But we can't fight for access to affordable water and housing and jobs.
Let's talk about Duggan's long game. Okay, he put money against you all even being elected.
Yep.
Charter commissioners, right? Remember that?
Yep.
The charter hadn't even been opened up. But smart enough to know he don't want nothing to change, right? So he put $500,000 into a charter race. Dark money. This before the charter was even opened up. He was like, we don't want no parts of that charter at all. So that's how you got Richard Ladd, Carol, Carissa, Quincy, and Lord Hughes, right? Right off the rip. And we got, what's the boy that we got rid of?
Oh, yeah, that Dorian, yeah.
Dorian, right. Got all of them in the race. This even before the people had voted to even have the charter up. He had the wherewithal to know, let's get our people on there. Then, okay, after the charter got started, all of that fighting crap wasn't because of y'all. It was because of the Duggan thing.
Yeah.
It was always because of them. Carol still don't know how to run a meeting. And then the people would say, well, y'all should fight and stuff like that. If you look at that video they show on that commercial and where there was some argument at the table, if you look in the crowd at the people, they were not reacting to it because they knew what was going on. Okay. And then they started doing everything they could. They sent the police in on the community meeting, right? What's his name? Nico got arrested out of one of those. Remember?
Yeah.
Down before COVID and stuff, all of that, so that we could waste time and not get to these proposals in the charter. And then when he saw that, all of this money started coming in to say no more proposal P.
Yeah.
All of this money. And these folks didn't go out to vote. This man started this 4 years ago for the outcome he wanted today.
That's right. That's right.
Stop playing.
Yep.
This is who you messing with.
He did.
How do you think he got Benny that been fetching for him?
Yeah.
Benny is one of the richest men in this city, right?
Yeah.
All kinds of health care, all kinds of money, blah, blah, blah. How he dead in a month?
In a month.
How did he get him? After Duggan threatened him, how did you get him to come to your side? Benny didn't need to come to nobody's side.
He didn't need the money, and he was going to win as sheriff anyway without him, like he didn't need him.
So that means Duggan had something on him. I don't know what it was. Had to. It just makes sense.
But this what I don't understand. Why is it always, this is the part I don't get. So we have a lot of our strong influencers, right? Whether you agree with them or not, they have a certain level of influence over people, right? And even over these voters that don't come out and vote. So you have some of our top influencers who concede and they go to the other side. But I always hear about this, like, look, we know we got some council members that rubber stamping because Duggan called them on in the office, like the principal, and they had a conversation with them. I just want to know, do anybody ever say, screw you, because bring it, because then we going to start talking about, every time somebody asks me a question, I'm going to start talking about the stuff you did. Like I don't understand like how the news camera come in front of your face. But wait a minute, I don't understand how the news camera keep coming in front of your face about something you didn't did, and you don't start asking them about, well, where was your same energy when Duggan was out here talking about he didn't know his girlfriend, but now he getting married to her. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I mean, how much can somebody who has so much on himself? I think some of them just want to belong. I personally do. I do agree with you. Like there's a conversation being had about what he has on people, but the rest of them, I think some of them just want to be a part of it. They really do believe that he's so powerful, and they want to be at that table.
He is one of the most ruthless people.
Yes, he is.
He is one of the most ruthless people out here now.
Yes, he is.
But however, it's more of us than them. It's more of us than them. Stop letting your grandma and grandpa vote whatever way they say, right? You make that way to the senior building and make sure they know that you're coming to see them at election time. You can't no longer say you don't know it's election time almost every year.
They make their way to grandma's table to eat. They make their way to grandma's table to eat. They go over there at grandma's house, either her house or her apartment. They make their way over there to eat and to borrow some money. And grandma always the first one they call when they go to jail and they need to get bailed out. Go ahead.
So I want to just jump to this before I go. You need some money. I need people to send you $25 a month. Don't get that coffee. One day a week.
You can't tell the folks not to get no coffee, Brenda.
I need 1,000 people, which should be easy. That means that you turn around and tell your friends, send Nicole $25 a month. We need to win this campaign, and they gonna fight against us. This ain't no Facebook Live video. This is the fact. We need $25, and that's what the folks who were talking about in outside the city who got those shots saying that they're gonna get Duggan some money. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They send $100 a month. They send $200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to get that candidate in. We are not going to get our candidates in unless we come up off some money. Now, you all going to try to do it as cheaply as possible. You're going to be fiscally responsible, but you need the money. And we need you to have some TV ads, some billboards, some more literature, all that. And the bills over there at the building need to be paid. And those folks will come up in there and want to eat too. We need everybody who has the capacity, and even if you don't, those who don't have the capacity spend $25 a month. Everybody else who's driving a nice car and stuff send you $100 a month. That's what we need. We need to be bringing in $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month so that you in this game. You're not taking no money from no corporations, no backhanded promising, nobody shit. We need you in that office. And we need the people to tell their people who to vote for and send you that money. This is not a lot of money. Just don't get that cup of coffee one day a week, and that's the $25.
I don't know now, Brenda. Now listen, hold on. I'll be sending no people my way who don't get their coffee now. Wait a minute, because then they be a whole different type of person. They don't get their coffee.
They should come to the office and get a cup of coffee.
Right, okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's another thing I got to pick up.
If you need me to come and serve up the coffee, I'll be there to serve up the coffee.
All right. Well, thank you, Brenda. I appreciate you so much. I sure will. Yeah, the Cash App is $ elect Nicole Small, and the donate link, you go to electnicolesmall.com and you click donate. So $ elect Nicole Small, or go to electnicolesmall.com and click donate, or you can always mail it to 21501 Livernois. Matter of fact, just do P.O. Box 211087. P.O. Box 211087, Detroit 48221. All right, let's do we have another caller on here? I want to get back to something. I want to get back to something really quick about this defunding the police. It is intentional. It's by design. Again, I just want to point this out, that we have so many officers who live outside the city who don't really care or value our community being on a police department. It is. It is by design that, there's an effort to take us back to a place that we fought so hard to get out of when you had the stress team and everything in the city that were going around. And I just saw somebody post that. I don't know if it was Sandra, saying that they used to just take Black folks in the alley and just used to beat them. Like, I've heard all of these stories, and we know that they're true. These aren't these conspiracy theories and just these rumors and everything. And when we get into a point where you have a mob of officers who go and swarm down on one person, and then another person gets upset, and the guy was upset, but they can't keep asking us to hold all of this in. See, that's another thing. It's always one of our people who want to talk about how somebody say something, or will you have to calm down? Well, you step up. Stop leaving people out here on the front line by themselves. They are literally killing the quality of life for our people. So when you think about that, and why aren't our people allowed to have PTSD? We've seen a George Floyd. Listen, that George Floyd, first of all, we still talking about what happened with Malice Green, right? And we didn't have social media back then. And now you have George Floyd, you have the Breonna Taylors, you have the Freddie Grays. We have all of these stories. And if you think that don't do something to you mentally, you need to better think again. The fact that we just lost a host of people, are still losing people due to COVID. I mean, there's a lot of trauma going on in our community. And some of it is caused by our own, don't get me wrong. You know, these folks out here, you know, you killing people just for nothing. This is crazy. So if you think we not walking around with a whole lot, it's like, you know what, being black probably in this country, but especially being black in Detroit, it's like walking around in a pressure cooker. And some of us don't even know. And at some point, the top gonna blow off. And the only way we gonna prevent that is if we activate our power and come together and we address some of these issues head on, but not all of the issues. Like, that's one thing I want you to get out of this today, is that I'm not saying that we should, you know, not fight anymore for justice, right, and equity. But I'm just saying that because we haven't built up a large enough army, we're going to have to take a step back and we have to decide what we will address. What are we most likely to win? See, some of the things, we're getting into the fight so late. We're getting in the fight so late. The chances of us winning are slim to none, and Slim just went out the door. That's what I want to talk about. We're going to have to fight to win this election. We are. You talking about elbow grease. It's going to be some elbows bleeding. It's going to be a fight for real to win, because they don't want us there. They don't. And they're clear about that. Last night, I want to tell you this real quick. So last night I went to I told you, the Ribs and Soul Fest. So I seen somebody I know, and he said, what's going on? He said, why was they targeting? He said, I seen you on TV. That's what everybody say. I seen you on TV, right? Then it's always something else to come after. I seen you on TV. Why was they targeting you like that? I was like, why they doing my girl Nicole like that and they targeting you? Like, everybody sees it. They see it for what it is. Most people do. The other ones want to go along and tell you about what you should and you shouldn't do. It's always somebody who not doing nothing who want to tell you how to change. Now, I value those who really in the struggle, be like, oh, well, Nicole, maybe you should play it this way. But don't come telling me nothing and you not even in the struggle. You over there on the sideline, just letting massa hit you upside your head. But now you so numb from all the blows you done took, you don't even realize he's still hitting you upside your head. I don't value that feedback from you. I don't. I value your feedback about what's going on in your community, right? Because I do love my people and I think we need change. I fight for those who even fight me about being who I am, to try to fight for you. But it's usually somebody who not in a struggle, who hasn't even acknowledged the trauma that they're experiencing, who want to tell you to be quiet. Where are you at? Because maybe we wouldn't have to be so loud and do so much if we had more of you standing with us. Because, see, your presence would speak volumes. But you lurking in the shadows, don't. Or always thinking you going to come out and change something. Good luck with that, right? Let me tell you what silence has gotten us. And I said this yesterday. It got you with more than 250,000 homes not having access to water. This is what silence and getting along has gotten you. Oh, it's gotten a lot of homes stolen from them, from being overtaxed. A lot of businesses shut down that were in good standing or just had the same struggles that every other business had, but somehow those other businesses received resources. That's what it got you. It got you Belial taken away from you. It got you Kobo taken away from you. It got the water taken away from you. That's what silence and getting along has gotten you. So let's be clear. They show all of them videos saying obscenities were being heard by who? Because there wasn't none of us on a charter commission. I know when I cuss somebody out. I didn't cuss anybody out at the charter meetings. This is the game that they play. And we always want to say what they told us on TV. But then in the next breath, the media is racist. Well, is the media racist or not? I need to understand it. And we keep letting them play these psychological war games with us, and we go for it, the majority of our people. This is a fight. We are in a real battle about this election. And you ain't seen nothing yet. They'll make up stuff on you. They'll edit video. They'll take a piece of something, a snapshot, and they'll blow it all. Let me tell you, it's going to go down for this election. Duggan is serious. He doesn't want change. He doesn't want change. We have so many people who will address the issues, like as we're out there talking to them. And then they still supporting the problem. Like someone was talking to me about when I was at the park on Saturday. So we're having a really good conversation. It was a husband and wife. And we were talking about, I tell them, I say, look, they charge you a drainage fee. You know how I am. They charge you a drainage fee and the water not being drained. We talked about DTE. We talked about how they selling off land to everybody else, but you can't even get the lot. Like they use your labor and they exploit your labor, right? For you to take care and maintain these houses that are abandoned or these empty lots, right? When they got $1 billion on the table and they still don't have enough people out there cutting the grass as frequently as they should. Just think about it, how they use you to the bone. And then you want to speak about one part and then you don't want to speak about the other. See, collectively, they are powerful. Duggan knows that he can't do all of these things on his own. So he has the supermajority of city council. So I don't care if you like your council person because they smile or they brought you a piece of chicken. Okay? I brought a lot of y'all a piece of chicken in that primary. I'm just saying. Come on. We have to be worth more than that. You have to be. And then either you talk about the council person, but then you like Duggan, or you talk about Duggan and then you still supporting the council person. That's his buffer. Duggan knows that for those who don't like him or who are now really being exposed to who he really is and what he's doing, right? Because some of us slow to catch on. Then he always has the council person to fill in the gap. Because if you don't like him, then it's a chance that you're going to probably like the person who on council. That's how he works this thing. When are we going to be sophisticated enough to do the same thing and understand how the system works? So I just want you to think about that. Again, I know, this issue with the police department, this corruption in the system with the police, with what's going on with these charges, being people being charged unjustly or overcharged, over sentencing. I get all of that. I do. And we need to do something about it because we losing too many of our good brothers and sisters for too long around this crap. So I'm 100% on board with addressing that issue. But I guess what I'm saying is when it comes to defunding the police, can we get some more order amongst ourselves before we start having that conversation? That's what I want. I want us to do things in a more strategic way. So again, I'll be back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock, but I have an idea. We talk about these people who don't come out to vote. I do have an idea about how maybe this weekend we could get some more soldiers on our team and soldierettes because we need them sisters, right? Y'all know, like I said, we gonna bring the structure and we gonna bring the order and we gonna bring the passion. We gonna keep it focused. That's what we're gonna do. So we need to have that meet. Oh, hold on. Let's take a caller. This will be the last one. Good morning. Uh-oh. Good morning. Welcome to the Nicole Small Show.
Good morning. Good morning, Nicole. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Sivetta. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to tell you that when you talk about news media, let's get this understanding. Maybe some of your listeners don't remember, but we boycotted the Detroit News and the Free Press. That's one reason why they don't have a good daily delivery anymore. That's why they on social media now, because of the lies they told, and the people in the city got tired of it and stopped buying it. I remember I told my mother, don't bring a newspaper in your house. Mm-hmm. Stop buying the paper that's telling lies about the city of Detroit. Now, even with the news media, remember how they was with proposal in? Now, all of a sudden, why are you dropping news about Mike Duggan and misuse $14 million of
the proposal in money? That's right. That's right.
I don't want to hear it. You was helping them push it. So now, what's the problem now? If you notice that,
that's right.
You dropped it. And you were so busy on Kwame and Carlisa couldn't even go to the bathroom. Let alone all you putting in about what's going on. Now you smiling and said, "Oh yeah, Mike Duggan was at the Kwame's wedding with his fiance." No, it wasn't. That was the other woman. Okay. How you gonna dog out Carlita and Christine, but you got the same thing that's happening? You all better look at the media.
That's right.
And, okay, the media gonna talk about you all at the commission. What happened in Macomb County? They was fighting.
Yeah.
Candace Mitchell and there was it. They were fighting. You all, they played all of that. Now come on, you didn't hear nothing, no cursing or nothing.
That's
See,
right.
You all, the media is right there with Mike Duggan. That's the people that you got to worry about. That's the doctor. That's the psychiatrist that's working on you with your dumb ass. If you don't realize that. Stop buying that bullshit.
Well, they need to stop buying it. They do.
All I just want to say, people, wake up.
They do need to wake up because we got a lot of people sleepwalking. That's the problem. We have a lot of people sleepwalking, and that really is the problem. So either we're going to have to shake them and wake them up. Tap them on the shoulder.
They got rid of good reporters, and now I got the Uncle Tom's up here reporting. You know,
don't even get me started.
In the community. That's why we need to wake up.
We really do.
Like Rochelle Riley's of Detroit.
Oh, don't even get me started on her. But again, about that black bottom. You too. Bye-bye. But about that black bottom, that's exactly what the problem is. Same ones who were standing with us then went right and stood right next to Duggan. I just, So tomorrow at 11 o'clock, press conference in front of DTE headquarters. So we're going to keep that same energy, right? Like we post about it on Facebook. If you like the post and everything about us talking about what DTE is not doing for the good of our community, then you're going to show up tomorrow at 11 o'clock. That would be nice. Kids not in school yet. So, maybe you could take your lunch break at 11 since you're probably working on Zoom, but it should be a good turnout, right? It should be a good turnout tomorrow at the press conference in front of DTE. Now you have somebody who going to speak up against the injustice against you. Against you. All you got to do is show up. My goodness. You show up for that bridge card, show up for the press card. You showed up for the bridge card and they didn't even give it to you. I bet you if they call you again, you will go. You're not going to say, "Oh, man, I went last time and they didn't even give me the bridge card." As soon as they put another post, y'all going to be lined up around there too. So you showed up for that. Let's show up for the press conference tomorrow at 11 o'clock in front of DTE. That's all I have to say. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock so I can remind you again to show up at the press conference tomorrow at 11 o'clock in front of the DTE building. I know it got to be some people. You know what? And as a matter of fact, if the power went out in your neighborhood, you need to call some of your neighbors and tell them to come show up. I don't care if the power did come back on by now. Because some people didn't get their power back on until yesterday, and some people still in the dark. You ought to be able to call some of your neighbors and tell them to show up at that press conference tomorrow. Stop keeping this information to yourself. Spread the information. And you always spreading a rumor or a lie. So now spread some truth, something that's going to be beneficial. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock in front of DTE press conference. And I'll see you back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you. Be safe and have a good day.